describes what follows. Thought, he says, puzzles the will. Thought puzzles the will. Reflection drains us, not because thinking is bad, but because it multiplies potential outcomes faster than our actions can deal with them. Right? I think that's so cool. Thinking isn't bad itself, but it's able to generate more realities than our actions can solve. Animals don't suffer this, right? They just act when a threshold is crossed. Humans linger, and by the time that the moment to move arrives, we feel as if we've already lived through its inevitable failure. So we wait. This is the deeper psychological point that I think Shakespeare is making. And I'm aware that a guy that basically didn't read Shakespeare is just reverse engineering what I think he said. But I do think that this is a cool interpretation, right? Our intelligence doesn't just protect us. It also inhibits us. We learn quickly from mistakes that we make, but we almost never feel the cost of mistakes that we avoid. The humiliation of speaking and failing leaves a scar, but the decades-long erosion of never speaking leaves nothing that you can point to, which explains why people stay in the wrong job, the wrong relationship, the wrong version of themselves for years, not because they don't know better, but because action demands stepping into an unrehearsed future. Hamlet names the real enemy, which is uncertainty, right? Not pain or effort, but just the unknown. Our minds would rather endure a familiar misery than gamble on an unfamiliar freedom. Even suffering becomes tolerable once it's predictable, but people would rather spend years in misery than risk a few days of pain. And this is why modern life, despite being safer than any previous era, often feels more paralyzing, right? Because our nervous systems evolved to avoid death and lions, and now we use it to avoid embarrassment and misjudgment and reputational damage and identity fracture.
How are you finding the time to send over all these meeting notes?
I got a secret. I've been using Granola.
What is Granola?
So it's an AI notepad. If you want to take notes during the meeting, Granola can fill in everything around them. If you don't, it'll still give you a full write-up for that meeting.
Okay, so...
And here's the final uncomfortable implication Shakespeare leaves hanging. Self-awareness is not a pure good, right? Beyond a certain point, self-awareness actually inhibits agency. Less reflection can mean more peace. Less certainty can mean more movement. Less conscience can sometimes mean more life. Courage isn't about thinking clearly. It's about moving while things are still